They lead Argentina 2-0, crossing into the 78th minute. NBA Cavs star Donovan Mitchell's agreed to a 4-year, $273 million extension.
Live from the heart of SEC country, this is your daily fix of grit, guts, and gridiron glory. Welcome to the Deep South College Football Show.
Bowen, here he goes! Georgia retakes the lead!
Breaking down the biggest matchups, the boldest takes, and the deepest rivalries in college football on Tide 100.9 and 1230 AM WTBC.
Intercepted! They confused him! Xavier Brown headed the other way! Touchdown Tide!
From Fayetteville to Gainesville, from the Grove to Toomer's Corner, it's SEC football.
Chandler delivers! Touchdown!
Now, here's your award-winning host, Wyatt Fulton.
Welcome into a beautiful Tuesday afternoon in the great city of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. The Deep South College Football Show right here on Tide 100.9 and 1230 AM WTBC, your home for Alabama Crimson Tide sports. Don't know quite how much Alabama we're going to talk today, though, because we're talking dark horses to win their conference championship. Going to take a brief pause. We'll jump back into our team previews with Ole Miss tomorrow. Going to be a fun show talking Trinidad Chambliss, Kewan Lacey, and all the stars that they got on that Ole Miss football roster. But today we are talking dark horses to win conference championships. It's Media Day season. The Big 12 is currently at Big 12 Media Days in Frisco, Texas. DJ Lagway spoke to the media for the first time since his departure from Florida. He said he's in the best place he's ever been, physically and mentally, now as a member of the Baylor Bears under head coach Dave Aranda. And I tweeted this out. I don't know how many people are going to get the reference, but DJ Lagway has learned so much under this new offense. He's focused. He's having fun. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a dark horse for the Heisman. That's a callback to Auburn and Bo Nix, where they made an offensive coordinator change going into his sophomore season, and that is the exact quote about Bo Nix. He's focused, he's having fun, he's learned so much under this new offense. And I think somebody had added the tagline, I wouldn't be surprised if he's a dark horse for the Heisman Trophy here. And Bo Nix got injured in that season, and I think it was 2020. So Bo Nix got injured in 2020, and Auburn fell off the rails, fired Gus Malzahn, and has become the program that we recognize Auburn as now. A program that has not had a winning season without Gus Malzahn in the last 7 years now. 7 years, I think.
It's not their fault.
I mean, it kind of was. They were the ones that fired Gus Malzahn.
Yeah, it's their fault. That was the dumbest thing they could have ever done. But the sun's shining. I'm in a good mood today. It's not their fault.
It's a callback to Bo Nix and Auburn there. So now anytime a quarterback who's had a really rough time in college football says something along the lines of, I feel great mentally, I'm in a better spot, I'm focused, all the typical quarterback speak. I'm focused. I've learned so much. I'm taking things seriously. I'm having fun. We get the callback to 2020 Auburn and Bo Nix there when you look at the Tigers there. So I think we did this with DJ Uyunglele when he left Florida, or when he left Clemson and went to Oregon State. We did it again when he ended up at Florida State as well. And I don't know what DJ Uyunglele was focused on, but hopefully DJ Lagway was not focused on the same thing there in Waco, Texas.
No, but isn't this also the second year in a row that DJ Lagway's been a big dark horse for Heisman?
It is. It is, man. He was focused last year. He was focused on throwing 5 interceptions to the LSU defense. Deshaun Spears' pick 6 sealed that game. He was focused. He was having fun last year. I don't know how much fun you can have on a 3-9 Florida Gator roster with the fired head coach, but
I do recall, wasn't he working through some injury stuff going into last season? And he was kind of closed off from everybody. Maybe didn't have all of his friends come to his birthday party or something like that.
I believe it was a back injury and a knee injury and something with his ankle, because he was spotted walking around in an ankle or in a boot.
Very close to the start of the season.
Very, very close. Yep. Like second scrimmage of fall camp close. Like 2 weeks out from the season, he's not even participating because he's in a boot. So regardless, though, Florida didn't have the season they wanted to last season. Fired Billy Napier, and DJ Lagway hits the transfer portal. DJ Lagway, now a member of the Baylor Bears. And with Big 12 Media Days going on right now, the fact that we're talking about DJ Lagway and the Baylor Bears, let's start in the Big 12 here, as Conference championship winner dark horses. Now, this means that we're probably not going to talk a lot about Texas Tech. They're still the favorite to win the conference according to FanDuel Sports at plus 105.
Mandatory Brendan Sorsby mention of the day. I saw something on Instagram on my way over here. Team USA went around the back of the league, shadily found a way for their best player to play, all for it to never matter in the end. Today, we are all Red Raiders.
I don't know about that. I'm glad I don't have to pretend to care about soccer anymore. I'm so glad I don't have to pretend to care about soccer anymore.
But that first 20 minutes of that game last night after U.S. tied it, I was a little pumped up.
Oh, it was great. It was great.
Pumped up. And then by the time I got back from refilling my cup of water,
Belgium had a 2-1 lead.
How'd that happen?
I have no idea.
I heard it on the broadcast. 61 seconds between the game-tying goal and the goal to make it 2-1.
And that was the technical end of the game because the United States only scored 1. So
it's fitting that we're talking about Team USA not having any defense as we segue into the Big 12.
It is fair. BYU's second favorite. These odds are courtesy of FanDuel Sportsbook here, by the way. BYU is second at plus 600. Bear Bachmeier and Kalani Sitake returning to lead the BYU Cougar program. Utah is third at plus 800. Utah, no Kyle Whittingham. He went off to Ann Arbor, Michigan. They've now promoted the defensive coordinator to becoming the head coach, but they did return their starting quarterback, Devon Dampier, who's an EA college football legend, by the way. I won multiple national championships with him. Dual threat running quarterbacks do very, very well in that game. So when you get a guy like Devon Dampier, great ball player for that video game there. Don't know how much in real life, though. Kansas State plus 1,300. Houston plus 1,700. Two returning starting quarterbacks for those two schools. Avery Johnson at Kansas State. Connor Wegman at Houston. Forgot he existed. His days at Texas A&M and then kind of fell by the wayside. But I was scrolling Twitter the other day and saw that he did an interview with On3. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I didn't know he was still in the sport. So good for him.
Not only is he still in the sport, he's apparently still good enough to start over the number 2 or number 1 overall prospect in the country.
That's right. They did pick up the number 1 overall quarterback in the class this past recruiting cycle. So, hey, good on Houston. TCU plus 2,000. Arizona State plus 2,200. Arizona tied with them at plus 2,200. Oklahoma State, after revamping that program following the firing of Mike Gundy last season, plus 2,700. Kansas plus 3,000. Baylor plus 3,500. Not a lot of stock being put into DJ Lagway there in Waco, Texas. West Virginia at plus 4,000. UCF also plus 4,000. Colorado, perfect timing, plus 8,000 for the Buffs there under Deion Sanders. Cincinnati plus 10,000. Tied with Iowa State in dead last in the Big 12 at plus 10,000 odds to win this conference.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Iowa State, like the most shoo-in for 9-win team of all time.
I think I've picked Iowa State to be in the conference championship each of the last 4 seasons.
For a good reason. Matt Campbell was a phenomenal coach.
Very, very consistent coach.
Just good enough to be at Penn State now.
Good enough to be at Penn State. So Whitman, I'll start with you. Give me a dark horse to win this conference. Not talking Texas Tech, BYU. And I'm going to throw Utah in there just because they are kind of the third favorite.
So you want to leave those 3 alone?
Yeah, we won't talk Texas Tech, BYU, or Utah. But outside of that, give me a dark horse that you think can win this conference. It's a rough conference.
Kenny Dillingham just seems very like a safe pick for a dark horse candidate. If you forced me to say this is your choice, I'd lean Arizona State. However, Oklahoma State with the transfer, new head coach, brand new offense, one of the best quarterbacks in the country, one of those transfers. Maybe they make a leap and they're competitive. Rich Rod's doing some impressive things at West Virginia with this massive recruiting class, but that probably won't take effect until year 3, year 4. I would just lean Arizona State. I mean, they're not going to have a lot of eyes on them without Sam Leavitt, but Kenny Dillingham has turned that place into a football school. They don't have, the historical pedigree to consider themselves, a blue blood football school, but I'm leaning Sun Devils right now.
I do like the Arizona State pick, and they went out and via the transfer portal, they added a quarterback with starting SEC experience. Who is that quarterback? Cutter Boley. from Kentucky, who finished last season as kind of a on-again, off-again starter alongside, was it Zach Calzada that just randomly appeared at Kentucky last season? I think it was.
Yes.
He finished last season, Cutter Boley did, with 2,100 yards, 15 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 85 rushing yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns. Got to say, though, he played some rough opponents there. 3 straight games against Georgia, Texas, and Tennessee, all losses for Kentucky. He started the game against Auburn, where he threw more interceptions than touchdowns, although he did have 5 touchdowns in the victory or in the loss to Tennessee in a 56-34 loss there. Not stellar, not in love with his stats from Kentucky, but he played some tough defenses. Like I mentioned, Georgia, Texas, Tennessee, Auburn, Florida, Vanderbilt, and Louisville, where they got the brakes beat off of them at the very end of the regular season there. They also added 3 new transfers at wide receiver. But I look at the Arizona State schedule here. All right, Morgan State week 1, fine, whatever, who cares? At Texas A&M, loss. All right, so we got 1 out of the way. But we're talking conference championships, not college football playoff here. They play a lot of really good teams in the Big 12. They go to Lubbock, Texas to play Texas Tech. They host Kansas State and Avery Johnson. They go to BYU. They go to Provo, Utah and play BYU on the road. They go to Central Florida and play that program. And then, oh, by the way, you end the season with 2 straight games against Oklahoma State, who could be a resurging team. And you go to Arizona with senior quarterback Noah Fafita.
It looks to me like whoever wins the Big 12 will probably have to catch some breaks with injuries and a very manageable schedule. Like, you get lucky with crappy road teams, and then you're going to have to win a couple shootouts at home against maybe you clip a Utah or you clip a Kansas State. You get them at home, and you're able to beat them there.
I do like Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's my pick as the kind of the dark horse to win this conference. They're at plus 2,700 in the odds there. Oklahoma they brought in a just brand new team. Take North Texas last season. All right, all those guys are now at Oklahoma State. Drew Mestemaker should be a phenomenal quarterback this season if you believe any of the offseason hype about a quarterback, and there's always offseason hype around quarterbacks. Brought in the same running back, brought in a lot of the same offensive linemen. North Texas scared a lot of Power 4 schools when they did play them under Eric Morris. And I look at this schedule here. Oregon week 2. All right, that's a loss. Murray State and Tulsa around them. You go to Tulsa in week 1, host Murray State in week 3. And then you go to West Virginia on September the 26th. Is it fair to say that Oklahoma State comes out of the month of September 3-1?
They should, and I'll tell you what, they should get extra fired up for that game at Tulsa. I mean, that is their.
Tulsa was the one that killed the Mike Gundy era when they lost last season.
If UAB played at Alabama, or if UAB and Troy and Alabama played every year.
Yeah.
That's what it should be. Or it's like when LSU goes and plays Louisiana Tech.
Yeah.
So good on them for playing the in-state school. But
it should be a bludgeoning.
It had been a long time. It should be now, especially after what happened last year. You got our head coach fired. We have a point to prove. And even though the new staff and the new quarterback aren't going to exactly put up a big fight for Mike Gundy, they still need to look at it as, hey, you beat the team that I'm now on last year.
Yeah.
I want to go run over your face.
I want to kick your teeth in and make you enjoy it. That should be the Oklahoma State mentality in that game against Tulsa. The home games here for Oklahoma State, UCF, Colorado, Texas Tech, and Kansas. So, yeah, you got to deal with Texas Tech, but you get them in Stillwater. No BYU on this schedule. Your road games, Houston, Iowa State, Kansas State, and Arizona State. Houston, I like where that program is heading, but it still, to me, feels like a G5 team. Still feels like a G5 roster that is punching above their weight class. Now, that could mean that they beat Oklahoma State at home. They do have to go on the road and play Houston, but it feels like that might still be some remnants of a G5 program punching above its weight class there in the Big 12. Iowa State, I have no idea what the hell to think about Iowa State after losing everything after losing everything when Matt Campbell left for Penn State.
I'd set the bar low with them and just be pleasantly surprised at anything they do.
Kansas State really always feels like that team that's like, hey, they're the dark horse to win this conference. Hey, they've got a shot, and then they crap the bed in the month of October. Or they lose a pivotal game early November, and then you look at their schedule 2 weeks later, and they've suffered 3 straight losses because that pivotal game is what ruined their season.
I mean, hell, just a couple years ago, played Alabama in the Sugar Bowl. They're there.
Had a lead.
They've been in several conference title games. If Avery Johnson wants to be an NFL quarterback, this has to be his year because came on as a freshman 2 seasons ago in 2024. Everybody's like, whoa, next year and the year after that, this kid's going to be something. Last year, I don't even want to say mediocre, but just a bit of a letdown from Avery Johnson.
Yeah.
He was getting some of that, hey, if everything breaks right and he just puts up stupid numbers in the Big 12, does he go to New York? Does he get talked about to go to New York? Doesn't have to go to New York for this to be a successful year, but I would not at all consider myself
This has got to be his season.
Kansas State is the dark horse.
Yeah, this has got to be his season if Kansas State wants to do anything of substance there in the Big 12. We'll take this first time out here, and we'll come back and we'll talk about the ACC, where you've got a team with minus odds to win the conference championship, and then a whole lot of new people.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit TremfyaRadio.com.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Here's your Tuscaloosa and West Alabama forecast. Sunny, hot here this afternoon. Light westerly breezes and about a 1 in 3 chance for an afternoon shower or storm. Tonight, clear, warm, and muggy, low 74. Sunny, hot tomorrow, about a 40% chance of afternoon showers and storms. High tomorrow, 92, and that trend continues into Thursday. Sunny, hot, 93, and afternoon shower or storm chance. Richard Wedding of the Weather Channel for Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
It's 93 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
From yesterday's legends to tomorrow's stars. Tide 100.9 and 12:30 AM WTBC.
No one better.
The home of Alabama Crimson Tide sports.
Welcome back to the Deep South College Football Show. Sorry about no bumper music there. We'll fix that here in the next segment here. We're talking dark horses to win conference championship games. We talked about the Big 12 in the last segment as they are currently at Big 12 Media Days here. So now we move on to the Atlantic Coast Conference, or the way I like to call it, the All-Coastal Conference, because there's no way in hell that Stanford and Cal should be in this conference, or SMU for that matter. But that one's a little bit more easy. That one's a little easier to stomach than Cal and Stanford being in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Not much, though.
Not by much.
I don't like my Boston colleges playing a school in Texas, and we call it a conference game.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that so much here. But Miami is the favorite to win this conference at minus 140. A lot of hype around Darian Mensah and Mario Cristobal after the Canes are coming off a national championship appearance here. Louisville comes in at number 2, SMU at number 3, Clemson still in that top 4 at plus 1,600, Virginia plus 1,700, Pittsburgh plus 1,800, Virginia Tech and new head coach James Franklin plus 2,200, NC State plus 2,500, Georgia Tech and the Yellow Jackets there under Brent Key plus 3,300, Cal at plus 4,000 alongside Florida State, Duke at plus 7,000, Wake Forest plus 8,000, North Carolina plus 10,000, Syracuse plus 12,500, and a rather large gap between the bottom two with the bottom two teams in this school or in this conference. Syracuse is plus 12,500. Your next to last school is Stanford at plus 25,000. Your bottom feeder school is Boston College at plus 40,000.
Shout out Bill O'Brien.
I don't know what sicko's about to try and take Boston College to win that conference. You're going to lose all your money, though. You're going to lose your money.
Hopefully they don't bet a lot.
Yeah.
That's a big return on investment.
That's like I'm going to bet $1, and if they're like undefeated through the first 5 weeks, I might try and cash that out before they face somebody with a pulse at that point. But in terms of dark horses to win this conference here, we know it can't be Miami as they are minus odds to win this conference. Louisville returning Isaac Brown under head coach Jeff Brom. SMU still got Kevin Jennings running around in the backfield there. Clemson plus 1,600. They got Christopher Vizina, who's going to take over after Cade Klubnik left that program last season. Still some really good players at Clemson. I think about Bryant Wesco at wide receiver. I think about a lot of those guys. We know that they've got talent on the defensive side of the football. However, That talent didn't really play cohesively last season. Can they fix that problem this upcoming year? Virginia, here, they added Bo Pribula via the transfer portal by way of Missouri there. Pittsburgh's got Mason Heinschel, who took over for Eli Holstein last season and actually turned into a decent quarterback last season. Had 2,300 yards, 16 touchdowns, 8 interceptions against Boston College in the month of October there. He threw for 323 yards and 4 scores. Still lost to Notre Dame and Miami, and they lost in the Military Bowl to East Carolina last season. But don't put a ton of stock into what happens in those bowl games here. Just anecdote, they lost to East Carolina there. So, hey, East Carolina's on a win streak right now.
8 wins last year.
They're on a win streak right now, and they got to come into Tuscaloosa in 60 days.
Watch out, Bama.
Yeah.
They're coming.
Yeah, okay. Okay, here. Whitman, who you got as your dark horse to win this conference?
I'm staying local. I don't see Virginia doing it. I also can't stand Virginia. But I don't see it. I mean, Tony Elliott has put together a very plausible program for what UVA is known to put out.
They've been fun. It was fun to watch that Florida State game last year. Are we sure Squirrel White's not still on the field, by the way? Did he get up?
He got stomped under the grass.
Yeah,
There's like a 3-inch opposite indention in the grass facing up, and he's like chalk lined under the 10-yard line.
Yeah, are we sure has anybody seen Squirrel White since that game in week 3?
Let's check.
Yeah, we'll check Twitter and see if he's okay.
So what schools are you considering not a dark horse? Obviously Miami.
I would say your top 4. I would say your top 4. Miami, we know that they're not there. We know that they're probably a betting favorite, or
they are.
They are the betting favorite at -140. Louisville, I don't think Jeff Brom and Isaac Brown are dark horses here. SMU, Kevin Jennings, they were in this game 2 seasons ago. They competed. I mean, this conference we got into like week 12 last year, and we still had 6 teams alive in the ACC championship race.
And SMU was one of them.
SMU was one of them. Clemson was not one of them, but
they can flip that switch at any time. So I don't know if I'd say dark horse.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's still Clemson.
Yeah, it's still Clemson. You still got to respect Dabo Swinney and what he built there at Clemson. And if he starts to use the transfer portal the correct way, I could easily see Clemson back up at that level that they were in the late 2010s. So I'd say anybody south of Clemson, anybody beneath Clemson on that list.
UVA kind of got lucky last year with how they got in. I don't trust Pitt. NC State just feels kind of dead in the water, like stagnant almost. Yeah. If Georgia Tech wanted to do it, last year was the year to do it. Cal, no, not with a first-year head coach. Mike Norvell, hope he's got his emergency bag packed.
Yeah, he better have a go bag ready.
And Duke also, I think, got very lucky by way of being a 7-5 team in a conference championship.
That doesn't leave you many options. And your best team option there, if you don't pick any of those, is Wake Forest at plus 8,000.
Oh, but I skipped over one. Virginia Tech.
James Franklin.
James Franklin. Enter Sandman. Whew. All I had to do was see clips of that Metallica concert at Lane Stadium when they shook the ground and news stations in Western Virginia reported like seismic activity. That place is itching, scratching, and clawing for a winner. You factor in all the guys from Penn State that went to Virginia Tech, a $230 million investment into the academic budget. Dark horse-wise, there's no better way to set the tone and to build that chip on your shoulder than going and getting into an ACC championship in year 1 in Blacksburg.
Would be a lot of fun. He brought James Franklin brought in Ethan Grunkmeyer with him from Penn State there. A lot of guys left Penn State and made their way to Virginia Tech there. You also added Quayshawn Brown from Duke, who was an 800-yard receiver last season. You brought in Marlon Jackson from Louisiana Tech, who had 370 and 2 touchdowns last season here. You mentioned my team here, and you said if they were going to do it, last year was the year to do it. But something about what Brent Key's building at Georgia Tech really speaks to me.
It does. I just don't know if he's got a quarterback to get him over the hump of Miami.
That's a good point. Well, maybe you don't have to beat Miami, though. You may not have to beat the Hurricanes. They're not on your regular season schedule.
No, but I'm really trying to project this as if Miami's in the conference title game. Because there's no way they don't do it this year. This feel like they may walk in there and lose by 20, and that's okay. If they go to Charlotte and it's like a rainy Friday night or Saturday night and they just lose by 20, that's okay. But they've got to make it. Miami has literally never won an ACC title.
This is true. This is very true. I don't know. Something about what Georgia Tech and Brent Key are building there speaks to me, though. You brought in Alberto Mendoza, who, if he's got a fraction of the talent that his older brother did, Georgia Tech's going to be a dangerous football program this season. You bring in a couple of key transfers. Gavin Harris, a tight end from New Mexico State, who had 531 yards last season. I understand you lost Isaiah Canyon, and that's a big loss there for Georgia Tech. You also lost Eric Rivers to the NFL draft, but you still kept Dalen Pinson, who, if the internet would work in this building, I'd read you his stats from last season here. Oh, excuse me. Never mind. He had one solo tackle last year, so I guess they converted him from defensive back. You also brought in Jordan Allen, or you also have Jordan Allen, who had 304 yards last season. What the hell are they going to do with Jalen Mbakwe? Because he can play both sides of the football. Is that your Travis Hunter kind of replica in Atlanta over there?
No, because he tried doing that here, and he was so not good at offense that it took away from him being able to get on the field as a defensive player.
This is true.
He needs to be a cornerback because I think he's got the talent to be one of the best in the conference, maybe even in the country. But playing both ways, you got to realize, I mean, Shohei Ohtani, Travis Hunter, Babe Ruth.
It doesn't happen very often.
These dudes are unicorns for a reason.
Deion Sanders.
I mean, it does not happen often. Charles Woodson won the Heisman because he was a kick-returning slot receiver that was really good on defense.
Yeah, he did. But the one piece that I look at and say, this is how Georgia Tech's going to do it if they do it, Justice Haynes at running back. He was a star for Michigan when he was in Ann Arbor prior to his injury last season. Now he's in Atlanta, Georgia, back in his home state. Literally, I think he played at Buford, so he's an hour away from where he played his high school football. His family's going to be at every game just about. And so if Georgia Tech does it, it's going to be on the back of Justice Haynes here. And you look at the schedule for the Yellow Jackets. No Miami in the regular season. You get Louisville at home, so you don't have to go on the road to Louisville, Kentucky there. You've got an odd game at Stanford to open your conference play. You could lose to both Colorado and Tennessee and still make this conference championship game if you're Georgia Tech.
And you mentioned Justice Haynes. That completely slipped my mind. I mean, are we talking about him as a top 5 running back in college football last year if his head coach just didn't have a really big crush?
Prior to the injury, I'd say, yeah, he was playing at a top 5 level in the sport.
He was gashing defenses in the Big Ten. I mean, not...
Yeah, Big Ten, they stacked the box for a reason.
But, I mean, he was 120, 150, 100, 95, 120 all season long. So, Doak Walker candidate.
Had 857 yards last season. It was the most he's had in a single season. 857 and 10 touchdowns as a member of the Wolverines last season. Didn't play in a game after October 25th. Missed the entire month of November and still at 857 yards. This could be the potential for a 1,000-yard season for Justice Haynes if he can put it all together here. And like I mentioned, no Miami on that regular season schedule. I don't know about Heisman. I don't know that I go that far. I don't know that I do that.
He is going to be like the Ahmad Hardy of Georgia Tech's offense. Like, they're just going to turn him around, give it to him, and just see how far he can run.
Played a little CFB 27 the other day. Had 3,800 rushing yards in one season with Ahmad Hardy.
How many?
3,800. I averaged 12 passing yards per game.
Heavens. Oh, okay. You made a point.
Yeah. No, okay. I made a point. I made a point to win something with Ahmad Hardy there.
Yeah, I'm assuming he took it home.
He did every award. The Maxwell, the
Heisman.
Yeah, the Heisman, the Doak Walker, Walter Camp Player of the Year. He won it all.
And somehow still won't be first team all conference, but I digress.
He wasn't. Kewan Lacey was.
See?
It's ridiculous. Kewan Lacey was with 1,800 yards.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But we'll talk about the video game later.
I had 3,800 rushing yards and 50 rushing touchdowns.
Not first team all conference. Hey, look, SEC's a hard conference to play in.
SEC bias, man. It sucks. It sucks when you play at a small school like Missouri there. But no, for Georgia Tech here, going back to the Yellow Jackets and why they're my pick, you go on the road to Clemson. That's a tough one. Late in the season, but it is late in the season. Right? Normally Clemson, they're coming in very highly rated. There's a lot of excitement early in the year. If Clemson is not what we think they can be, they've fallen apart by that point in the season. They go to Clemson on November the 14th. Clemson's either going to be really, really good or they're fighting for bowl eligibility at that point. Last season, it was fighting for bowl eligibility at that point.
How packed will that stadium be?
If they're ranked, I think that's a tough one. If they're unranked, then I might pencil in Georgia Tech to win that game. Your toughest opponent is Louisville on this regular season schedule within the conference. It's a very important caveat. Within the conference, your toughest opponent is Louisville there, and you get them at home. So I don't know that I necessarily, I don't see SMU on this schedule either. So in terms of the top 4 to win this conference here in the odds maker market, Miami, no, not on your schedule. SMU, nope, not on your schedule. Louisville, you get them at home. So your toughest game is probably going to be going to Clemson, South Carolina, with a chance potentially to clinch a conference championship bid if you can win that game. Yes, you have to go to Virginia Tech. Yes, you have to go to Pittsburgh, but new head coach at Virginia Tech, that program may need a season or 2 to put it together. Stanford might be one of the worst teams in this conference this season. Pittsburgh, it's a program that's very much in flux right now because they started hot last year and then kind of sputtered.
Are we going to be asking in November, where were you when the battle of the Deep South College Football Show's ACC Dark Horses happened?
October 17th.
Where were you?
Pretty sure I'll be in Knoxville, Tennessee that weekend.
That's a big weekend for football. That game's going to get buried by some big games. That might just decide who joins Miami in the conference title game.
Be a lot of fun. To talk about that one. We talked about the 2 conferences where the dark horse actually has a chance to win this conference. Now we're going to talk about one of the 2 that I don't think the dark horse has got any shot, but we're going to pick a dark horse anyways here. We'll move to the reigning national champions, the Big Ten, here next on the Deep South College Football Show on Tide 100.9 FM and 1230 AM.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did you have to fight a dragon?
Nope. She bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.
Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit TremFyaRadio.com.
Stay locked in, Tide fans. This is Tide 100.9 and 1230 AM WTBC, the home of Alabama Crimson Tide sports.
We talked about the 2 conferences prior to that. I think that dark horse actually has a decent chance of winning that conference. And now we move to the Power 2 here as we go to the reigning national champion, the Big Ten here. I guess the last 3 national champions have come out of the Big Ten. So probably the most powerful conference in college football right now in the Big Ten. The New Jersey schools are not listed here. Are there multiple in New Jersey or is it just Rutgers?
Just Rutgers.
Okay, so without Rutgers here, this list starts with Ohio State at plus 185. Indiana, the reigning national champion, is plus 270. Oregon right behind them at plus 280. USC, there's a big drop between Oregon and USC. USC plus 1,300. Michigan plus 1,400. And then everybody else is plus 2,500 or worse in this conference here. You've got 4 teams tied at the bottom feeder of this conference at plus 40,000. That's Michigan, Northwestern, Maryland, and Purdue.
I've got Rutgers. They are also at plus 40,000.
Okay, I don't know why I don't have Rutgers on here. I'm looking at my computer here, and it says Big Ten Conference Championship Game winner 2026 without New Jersey schools. So I don't know, but you said Rutgers is also plus 40,000. All right, so we got 5 teams tied at the bottom feeder of this conference here. This is an odd one because I almost don't want to pick a dark horse because I really and truly think it's Ohio State, Indiana, or Oregon. And nobody, they are head and shoulders above everybody else here.
Well, then maybe we give ourselves some grace and allow USC to slip in because right now my 2 picks would be a Jaden Mayava Heisman, Lincoln Riley Masterclass, USC finds a way to win the Big Ten, or Iowa just uses up every ounce of defensive power from their head coach and he just passes away the night after they win the Big Ten title game and his transformation into a Big Ten trophy is complete.
I wouldn't hate an Iowa selection there as a dark horse. Now, keep in mind, that's a very dark horse.
Yeah, but, we're operating under the assumption that the 4th-ranked team in the conference is also a dark horse here just because of how good the top 3 are. I don't see Michigan doing it this year. Bryce Underwood just hasn't impressed me enough. Penn State won't do it in the first year with Matt Campbell. Maybe. Probably not. I doubt it. Washington, no. They just don't have the guys, and their quarterback doesn't even want to be there.
Yeah, we got to make sure. Yeah, we got to make sure he doesn't stay on it. He doesn't stay on a campus after a game. Like, we got to make sure. Damon Williams, you're the first one on the plane back to Seattle.
He's going to need a travel buddy.
Yeah. Yes, he needs a travel buddy. Make sure you have your bus buddy at all times.
So I'm not going to pick a team to win one of the two best conferences in the country if their quarterback doesn't want to be there.
Yeah,
that kind of leaves me with USC and Iowa, and I'll just go USC if we can pick them.
I do like USC a lot there. Jada Maiava finished last season, and this is I word these stats very confusing, so if it doesn't make sense, I apologize. I'll try to explain it here. Top 10 single-season passing yards in Big Ten history. Jada Maiava's on that list in one season in the Big Ten. Does that make sense? He had over 3,000 yards last year. That was good for 10th all-time in single-season passing in Big Ten history.
Threw for more yards in a college season than Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr.
There's a lot of people that did that. A lot of people flamed out, too, in the NFL.
Drew Brees.
Drew Brees did have two of those in the top 10. In an era where passing the football was not very popular.
I mean, you did it. Fernando Mendoza didn't do it, or did he?
He did not. Jada Maiava had more.
Okay, then. I mean, that's a big number.
It is, and you're in a Lincoln Riley offense that is known for developing quarterbacks. You've got a really good running back in Wayshawn Parker. Yeah, you got to replace Jacoby Lane and Mekhi Lemon, but I think USC and wide receiver is one of those positions that I'm not overly worried. Yeah, it's a question mark, but I don't know that it's necessarily a weakness of this roster. For Lincoln Riley and USC, it has always, always, always been defense. They can't stop a runny nose. They started to figure it out last season. Even though they lost the game against Michigan, they out-physicaled Michigan last season. I think they lost that game last year. Now I'm putting myself into doubtful moments here. I think they lost to Michigan. Did they win or lose that game, Whitman? Let me double check so that way I can make sure. No, they won. Excuse me. Wow, blew them out. Sorry. I don't know what year I was thinking. 31-13, they beat Michigan last season, so I do apologize. Okay, that even makes my point. That makes my point even stronger, though. They out-physicaled Michigan last season in that game against the Wolverines, and now they're starting to figure out the physicality. They're starting to figure out defense. This feels like the year that USC can make some noise.
This is also the year that Lincoln Riley has hired a college football Hall of Famer. Gary Patterson was inducted this year, head coach at TCU for 20 years. Great defenses. I mean,
didn't he used to be the defensive coordinator at Texas too?
Could be. I'd have to keep looking. Helped TCU lead the nation in total defense 5 times and did it 3 straight years.
He was not the defensive coordinator. He was special assistant to the head coach in 2022 at Texas.
So, I mean, Gary Patterson's been around the game. He's been around defense. He knows what an elite defense looks like. That's sort of like a Lane Kiffin, Blake Baker type situation where you've got offensive mastermind paired with a defensive mastermind to manage the other side of the football.
This does feels like
I feel good about my USC pick.
If USC does it under Lincoln Riley, it's this season. But I also kind of like Iowa just for the fun notion that, hey, Iowa is in the Big Ten championship game.
Let's not forget that they played Oregon very close at home. They played Indiana very close at home.
And I nailed both those games last year.
You did. I remember. I don't think you picked Iowa, but
I said Iowa would scare the crap out of them, but Oregon was going to find a way to win.
They did. And, I mean, it was rainy. They got lucky that it was at home, that it was cold, that it was wet outside. But who knows? Maybe if we've got a crappy fall weather rotation coming inbound, I would maybe bet Iowa's win total.
I'd for sure take Iowa and the points in some of these big games that they got. They go to Ann Arbor. They got a really rough stretch of 3 games here. To Ann Arbor, Michigan against the Wolverines, home against Ohio State, and then turn right back around and go to Seattle, Washington to take on the Huskies there. It's a tough stretch of 3, yes, but your one home game in the month of October is Ohio State. Ohio State is the Super Bowl for them that every single season here. Does Iowa just push all their chips in the middle of the table and say, that one, that's the one that we've got to handle? And if you can upset Ohio State or a Michigan or a Washington, suddenly the Big Ten championship picture comes a little bit more wide open. No Oregon or Indiana on the schedule this season for the Hawkeyes here. You look at Oregon's schedule, another team that's kind of favored to win that conference there. They also have to play Ohio State. They go to the shoe to play Ohio State. So if Iowa can handle their business, because they're going to be favored against Minnesota, Wisconsin, Northwestern, Purdue, probably Illinois, and Nebraska here at the end of the season. If you handle your business and pull off an upset of one of Michigan, Ohio State, or Washington, that puts them in the Big Ten championship picture, especially if Ohio State then turns around and beats Oregon in the month of November.
I'd also go as far as to say that Ohio State is due for a conference loss, not Michigan. Because it's been a long time since Ohio State has lost a Big Ten game in the regular season.
That wasn't Michigan or Oregon.
Yeah. But no, I mean, Oregon hadn't beat them.
No, Oregon beat them 2 years ago with Will Howard.
Yeah. Okay. I'd still say they're due. I mean,
Ohio State always has that one. You think about the Purdue game several years ago, right? It seems like Ohio State's always got one where it's like, what in the hell is going on right now?
Josh Jackson, 3 interceptions.
Yes.
Against the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Yes.
Or with the Iowa Hawkeyes to beat Ohio State.
It feels like they've got one just randomly in the clip there. I don't know who it's going to be.
They're due. Either that or Ryan Day's just that good of a coach.
And he might be. He may have started on third base, but look, guy can coach some ball.
Hadn't gotten picked off yet.
He is not. Kamari Moulton he was the backup running back last season. Now he's the starter there at Iowa. Jeremy Hecklinski is the starting quarterback, a redshirt sophomore there. Previous school was Wake Forest, and he completed 2 passes for 8 yards last season. Although he did have a rushing touchdown last season as Iowa's backup quarterback. Now he's the starter. And Iowa has, didn't they hire a new offensive coordinator too?
Waste of money if they did. As long as he knows how to run 53 trap, they'll be good.
Tim Lester is the offensive coordinator for Iowa, hired by head coach Kirk Ferentz here he's got a long career, prior to the 2024 season. So not stellar, but, could make some noise, could make a little bit of noise there. We know Iowa's going to have a really good offensive line. So I'm going to roll with Iowa. I'll give you USC just because I don't feel like anybody outside of those big 3 are going to be able to win this thing. We'll come back, wrap up the loose ends, and talk the Southeastern Conference here on the Deep South College Football Show.
Now, this hour's West Alabama real-time news update from the Tuscaloosa Thread Newsroom.
24-year-old Kendrick Crawford has been charged with the Monday shooting deaths of 2 people in Brookwood. They have been identified as 31-year-old Jose Felix Alvarez Duenas and 22-year-old UA student Jasmine Alexis Bates. A quick response vehicle is now running in Greene County to provide initial medical care while awaiting transport from a mutual aid ambulance from Allen County.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
You'll endure for years to come.
Check out our collection of officially licensed Alabama jewelry in store or online at hudsonpool.com.
And roll tide.
What does it mean to advertise and do your marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa? Melissa started her business in 2014. What would you say to someone considering Town Square Media Tuscaloosa?
My experience with Town Square Media has been awesome, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. I think that this is the first time in my marketing experience that I've been able to see my return on investment. I would definitely say in the past that has not been the case. In this, I like knowing that that's 100%. A lot of the marketing we've done has been radio. You guys have so much more to offer than that, whether it's, websites, from targeted marketing to radio. You are kind of a one-stop shop, and it makes doing marketing so much easier. So I would definitely recommend it.
For more info,
possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more, or visit TremFyaRadio.com.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Here's your Tuscaloosa and West Alabama forecast. Sunny, hot here this afternoon. Light westerly breezes and about a 1 in 3 chance for an afternoon shower or storm. Tonight, clear, warm and muggy, low 74. Sunny, hot tomorrow, about a 40% chance of afternoon showers and storms. High tomorrow, 92, and that trend continues into Thursday. Sunny, hot, 93, an afternoon shower or storm chance. Richard Wedding of the Weather Channel for Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
It's 92 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
From Tuscaloosa to the world, download the free Tide 100.9 app for all the latest on Crimson Tide sports.
Got about 7 minutes left in the program here on the Deep South College Football Show, and we saved the best for last with the Southeastern Conference. Texas and Georgia lead the way at plus 300 and plus 310 respectively. A rather sizable gap to number 4 at Texas A&M. Alabama tied with alongside LSU and A&M at plus 850. Ole Miss plus 950. Oklahoma plus 1100. Tennessee plus 2000. Florida plus 2200. Missouri plus 3500. Auburn plus 4000. South Carolina plus 4500. A large gap. Vanderbilt at plus 10,000, another sizable gap. Kentucky at plus 12,500, and the two bottom feeders, Mississippi State plus 20,000 and Arkansas plus 25,000 to win the SEC. No Texas, no Georgia, no Texas A. Matter of fact, if you're 850 plus or better, we can't pick them. So that takes out Texas, Georgia, Texas A&M, Alabama, and LSU. Who I think a lot of people are going to be picking the Tigers this season. So we got Ole Miss and down. Whitman, who do you think is the dark horse to win the SEC out of that crew?
If you only listened to the media talk about the Red River Shootout, you would think that Texas is a better program all time than Oklahoma. You would be wrong if you're one of those people.
I see you're trying to rile up our friend in Louisiana.
We don't have enough time for him to call in anyway. He's Brian's problem. Oklahoma has done everything Texas has done. Dare I say they've done it better. They've been better recently, 10 to 15 years wise. Texas may have them in the last couple, but now Oklahoma's got a quarterback for the first time in a little bit. Oklahoma's my dark horse. I like Ole Miss. I just don't think that they've got I don't see it. I see a couple losses. They probably just won't make it to the game.
Yeah.
That's just the nature of it. Tennessee, no. Florida, first year, no. Missouri, no. Auburn,
heck no.
South Carolina,
heck
that'd be
no.
fun, but no. Vandy, Kentucky State, Arkansas, and with a lot of O's.
Yeah, those are a lot of zeros on their odds.
I see Oklahoma as a chance to have a top 5 defense in the country. John Mateer was a betting favorite for the Heisman at any given point last year. Or at a particular point last year. That
prior to a thumb injury.
If they increase the run game, I mean, maybe they're a one-loss team to Texas.
It's the same thing as we said about Alabama last year. It was like, okay, they can't protect the quarterback to save their lives. They can't run the ball to save their lives. They won 10 football games.
They're really good at everything else.
They won 10 football games last year.
Oklahoma has the floor and the baseline talent level to compete with anybody in the country.
Yes.
In a football game, line it up, no eye black, just face mask on face mask. Oklahoma's got the floor level talent to beat anybody in the country. Their ceiling is stupidly high. I think Oklahoma's got a chance, and they are my dark horse.
Okay. Wow, you're really high. I guess it's fair. I didn't give you a chance to talk Oklahoma yesterday when I pre-recorded the show.
No, you didn't, and I was excited to hear what you had to say about John Mateer, but you didn't even go that deep into your love note.
Wait, it's a very big notebook that I got on John Mateer right now.
Couple of pages.
Couple of pages, man. Couple of pages. He was my Heisman winner last year, and I had that dead to rights through the first 4 weeks of the season, and then after that,
I'll give you partial credit.
Give me 20% credit on.
Turn the assignment in late. You get some points.
Give me 20% credit on John Mateer.
You get some points.
Because I did have that one dead to rights last year. Now I also had Arch Manning going to New York, and
that wasn't a bad pick though.
Well, everybody had Arch Manning going to New York.
Yeah. You just played follow the leader.
I think I had one of the Heisman finalists correct. I think I had Jeremiah. No, Jeremiah didn't go. I had Jeremiah Smith, not Love.
Oh, dang it.
But I did have Julian Sayin being number 5, and he ended up being number 4. So I feel like I'm okay with that one.
Partial credit.
Again, I'll take partial credit, man. Look, we're predicting conference championship winners and Heisman winners before a game's ever been played. That's hard.
Theoretically, we have a pretty easy job. We don't have an easy job when it comes to being right or wrong.
Yeah, in relation to all the jobs out there, like I'm not digging a ditch, and I'm happy about that. But in terms of me having to pick in terms of me having to pick how a team's going to be playing in December in the month of August, when I have no idea what's going to happen with schedules, seasons, injuries, the whole 9 yards, feel like the fact that I nailed. I mean, hell, I could pick Texas to win the SEC when we get to Tampa in a couple of weeks, and week 2 down goes Arch Manning against Ohio State. Knock on wood, that doesn't happen, obviously, but because I picked Texas and Arch got hurt in week 2 and Texas ends up 7-5, I'm the one that looks like an idiot.
It's your Twitter account that will blow up.
Yeah, it's my Twitter page that gets hit with that. It's like, I'm sorry, I couldn't predict an injury to this guy. I'm not Nostradamus out here, although we try to be. I just pick games on a week-by-week basis, and I came out at, 76% win?
Don't shoot the messenger.
I came out at a 76% winning percentage last season.
Watch out this year. I've got experience under my belt. Hey, I'm coming.
Old age and wisdom beats youth and enthusiasm any day of the week.
Yeah, but when you factor in tall, dark, and handsome, like you said on Monday.
There you go.
Last Friday. You never know.
You never know. All right, so my dark horse is also Oklahoma. Whitman, appreciate you for hanging out with us here. Coming up next, the game with Ryan Fowler. Hey, Norris was also hanging out with us. I know we didn't get you on the air here, but you doing all right today?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm all good.
Good to hear, brother. Good to hear. Coming up next, the game with Ryan Fowler from 2 until 6 p.m. right here on Tide 100.9 and 1230 AM WTBC, your home for Alabama Crimson Tide sports.